Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's our final night of the week. We're getting close to playoff season as well. My name is Dor, and I am joined by Best Student, aka Jonah. Jonah, we have maybe the best match that the West has to offer right now. There's a lot of question marks around this. It's UC Irvine up against the Cal Golden Bears, and I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, UCI is currently sitting undefeated right now at a 6-0 map score. They have been the team that has adapted the best to this new meta that we've seen with Asher and Viper coming out. They're a util-focused team, well-coached, very good players, of course. Nibbler sitting there with Nacho, June, Slife, and Platinum. And of course, their coach in there is bringing a lot of tactics to their gameplay. So because of this new split, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far from them. And it's well-deserved that they're 3-0 right now.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, right, where you take the top four of the West, and it was a big question mark coming in. It's even CU Boulder and WGA, which are more than respectable teams in their own right. You know, the records don't really tell the whole story here. It is the West after all. But UC Irvine, Cal Golden Bears, Pomona B, and SJSU Blue all really, I would say, had a shot at least top two heading into this. And then the meta shifted, and now it's all of a sudden become less of a question of like who is necessarily the best team, who has the best individual players. It's been who can adapt to the meta, and I think UC Irvine, you and I were talking before the broadcast, we can wholeheartedly agree that UC Irvine has done so the best almost by far. They've played the Astra, they've played the Viper, and they look more than comfortable on both of them, and this is coming into a week it's vitally important to show that you can do that before regional playoffs.
Yeah, and of course, they are locked in for those playoffs already, but the team they'll be playing against, the Cal Golden Bears from UC Berkeley, they will be playing for playoff berth, potentially, as they're sitting 2-1, tied with SJSU and Cal Poly Pomona. Of course, you mentioned that there is a extremely strong West group here, and that's the important thing to note. These teams, as you said, are all some of the best in collegiate, and there's only 4 spots available in the regional playoffs, and of course, only 2 teams can make it from these regional playoffs to our non-regional playoffs in upcoming, I believe, in 3 weeks.
Yeah, and one of the craziest parts about this in general is that it's not even decided, right? We've got the matches tonight, everyone's playing, and then we've got matches next Wednesday. Any of these 2-1 teams, if they lose both of their games, and if CU Boulder or WJ just happen to come out with 2 wins, notably, I think they're yet to play each other, which will be a boost for at least one of them. So whichever one of them can come out on top and then maybe pick up another win somewhere along the board, right? Cal Poly Pomona B, a team that can really punch up, but can also incidentally lose games that they probably shouldn't. Maybe there's a chance in there for one of those teams to creep up to a 2-3 score line and sneak their way into the top 4. Like, this is far from decided.
Yeah, I know Stittle is really banking on CU Boulder being the dark horse, and of course we've seen WGA actually come out with the, I believe, 2nd seed from last semester. You see the power rankings now brought up. You see a lot of teams from the West region in top 10 for both, all 3 of the predictors, really. We got Beanies here, putting UC Irvine at number 4, and Cal Golden Bears at number 10. So this is going to be a clash of some Titans here. And hopefully we'll see some quality Valorant gameplay today.
I didn't get to look at everybody's power rankings until today. I disagree with all that, man. I gotta get.
Yeah, I disagree with all of them too, but I'm just gonna. Yeah, I think this is all wrong too.
About that later.
No, I mean completely wrong. I think none of them have it right. I mean,
Kenny, Kieran, and Scott are on something. I don't know what they got going back there. The algorithm that's working, but.
I mean,
We
here's
gotta
my
get
reasoning
some
too, because I was on Rutgers and I was screaming some of these West Coast teams. I don't think we're as good as them. And then also Rutgers beat TAMU too. So Kieran and Beanie is having TAMU at number 1 is, I feel like, wrong. So really, I feel like it's a little more mixed up than I'm seeing. I think Miami's a little higher, maybe OSU is a little lower, and I'd probably put the West schools on top with, like, UCI, SJSU right now. But we'll let them have their analysis power ranking picks.
Yeah, they can have their fun for this week. We'll talk about it next week. But for right now, we've got this game to talk about. Again, UC Irvine up against Cal Golden Bears. Now, we talked a little bit about what we were expecting stylistically from either side, right? You expect really good flexibility from UC Irvine, adaptability to the meta. They're going to be running the Viper. They're going to be running the Astra. Cal Golden Bears, one of the few last bastions of the Sky, which, again, an agent that we haven't talked about in forever, but Bind is banned out today, though last week they played the Sky on Haven, which is honestly a surprise, I think, to both of us, but it worked out for them, so I guess you can't really complain.
Yeah, I mean, this week it's all going to be about Ascent for our map 1. Bind is of course banned out, and we'll have Haven and Split as our map 2 and 3. But like you mentioned, Sky, that champion, that agent rather, is such a blessing for this game. I feel like she's one of the truly well-rounded agents, as she has, flashes. You also have the heal for your teammates. You have scouting ability with the dog, and your ultimate, the Squidwards, the little jellyfish guys that are floating around everywhere. That really, really helps any team gather immense amounts of info that they could use to win any single round. It doesn't matter if you have pistols that round. If you pop that ulti, you know where 3 of them are at least.
Yeah, the cabbages are brutal, but I gotta say, I really appreciate a Sky that's comfortable in the pick, not because necessarily it's like an understanding of how to flash, like, that's nice and all, but it's all the weird flash setups. It's like playing against one of those, like, just super nerdy Sovas that all they do is just watch the 20 shock darts you'll never use in your entire life videos at, like, 2 a.m. You know the kind I'm talking about. And they've just got birds that are, like, going in windows, bobbing and weaving across the map, and all of a sudden, you're getting flashed from, like, a 90-degree angle. That's the Sky that I want to see come out. And that's honestly kind of one of the few things that might actually kind of upset the balance of UC Irvine, because they've proven dominant in the current meta. But if they got caught off guard by an off-meta pick, by some off-meta strategy that Cal Golden Bears can offer up, all of a sudden I see there being a chance here.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the best Sky in the world. We got Vision Striker Stacks. Maybe we'll see some, Cal Golden Bears take some notes from him and maybe come out with some weird flashes. I mean, the Sky usually primarily plays towards that A bomb site whenever he's on defense, and usually when he's attacking, he's always, second, third one in, throwing flashes for his teammates, right? But those weird angles, Valorant has such a cool map design. I mean, we all know about Breeze, the newest map addition to our game, and frankly said, the maps are clean. They are well designed, and there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm excited to see if any of these players have been putting in more work in the lab, as you said, for those Sova players who spend too much time on YouTube, perhaps, too much time on Reddit looking at those nerd arrows. But Sky is, as you said, the same character. The same ability to throw those niche lineups. I know in Icebox, there's a cool one up top on T side towards A. I think there's lots of ones on Haven. There's a little window that you could actually go through on Haven A spawn. And on Ascent, you can throw a Sky Bird from the bottom of mid over top into Catwalk for your teammates, similar how Omen throws that blind. So we could see a lot of niche setups from the Sky of Cal Golden Bears. And of course, we also could see some nice Astra and Viper setups from our undefeated team UCI.
Yeah, and this might be the week that we actually get it from Cal Golden Bears. We talked a little bit earlier about, this is kind of the time to adapt to the meta. If you don't have it by, this match, you've got one more to show it before you head into playoffs. Like, there's really not that much time. If you haven't picked it up by now, you're turning your homework a little bit late. And so coming in, we should outline what we want to see, right? We talked about it just before the broadcast about Astra needing to be flexible, understanding their setups, because it's not going to be just a pure, this is how we're holding. The setups aren't as clear as something like a Brimstone or an Omen. You need to be on the fly making those decisions. Same thing goes for the Viper. If we're expecting walls, we want to see them a little bit later into the round, holding them and being adaptable to the other side, and it requires immense comfort on the agent pick.
Yeah, definitely a lot more patience than we're used to seeing from the double duelist setups that a lot of teams have been running in previous metas. Of course, in previous metas, we have those characters, those players on those agents that they full send it, for lack of a better phrase. They, you know, just run down, hold that W key, the Jet Reyna, the Jet Phoenix, Jet Raze, whatever have you. You do the FaZe Clan, Big Shmee. But in this current meta, we're seeing a lot more slow, patient gameplay. The Asher Viper, very welcome. You see Nibbler here locking in that Asher pick. And we also have the Killjoy for June over on UCI's side. And it'll be an Astra matchup, an Astra v Astra.
And it's not too much of a surprise here, but I mean, Nibbler's been playing it for a while, which is honestly kind of an interesting swap for Nibbler specifically. But let's talk about what else we've got locked in, because the Reynas and Sovas, I think nobody's surprised by, right? It's Ascent. You're kind of expecting it. But what I think the Astra kind of offers up to the table is saying, hey, instead of us playing off of the Reyna Jet and trying to combo those two specifically, now let's try and work a little bit slower. Let's play off the util. Let's utilize this Raze and the Astra to find a couple more, yes, slower combos, but the Raze still does offer some entry fragging potential like the Jet.
Yeah, of course. See those double satchels that can help her boost through any defense, of course, and they can also help break walls and break through choke points. But the main thing I'm looking at is the nade utility usage. Maybe perhaps we could see that Astra pull into a nade, you know, for post plant, maybe a shock dart, a pull into shock dart. We could see some very cool things from both Teagle and Nibbler here on that agent in combination with these damage dealing utility agents. The Raze nade, the Sova Shock Dart, the Killjoy Nano Swarm. These three abilities, look for them in combination with the Astra.
Now, it's worth noting UCI picked this map first, so they were willing to take the attacking side, and it's a quick push on mid, keeping it on the Astra, though, all the way in the back of B here. Likely be pushing through Garage at the end of the day, but it's whether or not the market push is successful that really is going to determine things here. June locking down the spawn, gets beat out by AWB, but the attackers push is faster. CF1, what a clutch here by the Killjoy. They managed to get two, trade themselves up positively, and now attackers, yes, you get the spike down, but at what cost?
Yeah, Nibbler here planning the spike. He's going to be on the site, and you have that Reyna, that crucial agent, 150 HP in a pistol round with a Sheriff on him. This is going to be all up to him as the low members of Cal Golden Bears come in. The first peek, whiff, nope, there's two on her side, gets the first, gets the second headshot. Looking clean and crisp is Platinum, but Blue Haze, he can't do it. Platinum, the man, the Reyna, they put him with the Sheriff, they trust him that round, and he did deliver.
All aboard the Reyna train, baby. That's a pistol round if I've ever seen one. I love that people have actually been buying up the Sheriffs in the pistol rounds. Like, it's not the most recent of developments, but the fact that they're getting more and more comfortable with it is just, it's so much more exciting to see than like a buy up to a frenzy.
Yeah, it's so much more fun than the frenzy, you know, gang up on people and rush someone, because the Sheriff is some truly exceptional accuracy. We saw that from Platinum. It's a great round by UCI as we head into the second here. Of course, it will be an eco by Kyle Golden Bears, so I'm not expecting too much from them as JT Blaster eats an early nade.
Yeah, it'll be another quick push, though, for UCI. They want to get in with these weapons. They need to be a little bit careful. Don't get taken down. Teagle around the corner. Doesn't get spotted out. Yeah, a little too late. No surprise here. Attackers get on cleanly. I think there's one more player looking to push a smoke, but June holding down mid is going to stop the rotate. Remember really being a problem. And now it's just one lone Sova. AWB, a classic and a dream. Look, man. Do your worst, AWB. What you got?
He doesn't have much of a shot there. What's really going to be of interest in this third round, though, is the fact that UCI ran both strategies in the pistol and the second bonus round, the exact same mid to B split with a Killjoy late and mid lurking. So let's see if UCI actually takes a different approach to this round, or if with their superior weaponry, we could see something very aggressive from Cal Golden Bears. Maybe they take control of mid, push A. Whatever the case may be, I'm really looking at these Astra Stars across the map. Each of these characters have 5 of them that they can place down. So see the minimap littered with Astra Stars right now. Those are going to be the key contention points.
I think one of the really interesting parts for me is that Cal Golden Bears, they're going to give up this site. CF1 is on it, has a lot of util, has some good counterplay. Oh no, the gravity well is nasty. So are the shots. Are they good for 3? Oh, just barely not. 2v3 though. We saw him win this last time. The Reyna's not here to save you though. You're looking for an early peek. Nibbler down at the same time though. And the hold by Cal Golden Bears, they devoted so much utility to mid. You mentioned the stars earlier, and they were scared of that mid to B push coming through again. So they devoted, I think, 2 or 3 stars just to gaining control of mid at the beginning of the round. But regardless of that, the big hold here by Chaewon, I mean, trading themselves out not just for one, but taking another with them on B, or on A rather. That's the second time we've seen the Killjoy lock it down like that, and that's more than enough to get Cal Golden Bears back into the running.
Yeah, it's always nice to have on your team a nice anchor player, and Chaewon showing up huge there for his team. Eagle, though, there, he did put the Astra Star to suck up an A main, delaying the push, and that Manium Swarm towards the switch. And what allowed Chaewon to get the pick is Platinum here, showing his stuff, just walking out of those tiles areas, getting that pick in the 1v1. No fear, all confidence right there. Well done by the Duelist player from UCI.
Yeah, and you know, you were talking about whether or not we see a big change up by Cal Golden Bears last round. I look for it more so here, right? In the buy versus buy round is where we want to see teams go to swing things, and UCI has very much so done that, right? We haven't seen a default from them this entire game, and so they choose this round, the most important round that we've seen yet, where both teams' economies are in the balance. Now is the time they choose to strike.
Last player standing.
And that shot just goes a little bit wide there from Teagle. And yeah, like you said, all of these different change of paces. I mean, so far we're 4 rounds in, and we've seen a different strategy from UCI every single round. So they knew what they were doing. They picked the Ascent, knowing that they would start on offense, and they have a playbook out for us. And it looks like Cal Golden Bears, they have to respond somehow. A nice pull comes through, but while in the pull, it doesn't matter. AWB 2001, the 20-year-old showing his stuff right there. Misses a little bit, goes through the reload on this D-box position. Can't get the last 2, but it was there. The lines did connect. I mean, that was a great pull from Nibbler right there on UCI's side, but the 2 players not hitting their shots, and AWB showing what he's all about.
And they're pretty glad, right? It makes sure the economy doesn't get too out of hand for UCI. So following this, we'll have a gun versus gun round most likely, and it's going to be another one similar to that last 4th round where the economy is actually properly in the balance, because, you know, for UCI, this isn't exactly a free round coming to them next time. They down to 300 and 200 credits on 2 of their players respectively. Cal Golden Bears, if they can do a bit more damage here, so they get 2, 3 frags, maybe pick up a couple of guns and do some real damage, look at the push from mid, they might be able to do it from there. They can actually start causing something to happen economically.
They're getting in here into the tiles position, and JT Blaster Boy stuck in there. Maybe he can get one with this stinger, but no, it's all up to Chaewon now. Let's see if he can do some economic damage. He hears the player. Looks like they're facing off, and nice 1D there from Chaewon, getting Platinum, the top fragger for UCI down. That's really important. You know, this was one of those kills that doesn't really matter in the economy game, but it does matter for the confidence of these players. If you're not hitting the shots, you know, and you watch your teammate not hitting shots too, it can be detrimental. But there, all 4 players on Cal Golden Bears, getting a little surprise from Chaewon, getting that nice 1 hit on the Sheriff onto Platinum, shutting him down. And let's see what in this buy round we can really expect to see from Cal Golden Bears, as their defense has been lackluster at best so far. So perhaps we could see some aggression from them.
They got a judge on lock over here today. They got to be a little bit careful. There's an opportunity. The Reyna could have bought a regular rifle, but chooses to lock it down, popping Empress now. UCI deciding to use their ultimates to their advantage. They recognize how important this round is to Cal Golden Bears, and they're pushing for the throat. Blue Haze, though, from behind. The judge is in, and oh boy, they brought the jury and executioner as well. Looking for more, gets half the HP over here on A. Turns, though, and Platinum makes the Reyna diff more than apparent. Going for 3, Arya good for 4. AWB up here in window. Takes him down in time, but shot from the side of the head. June finishes it off for UCI. That round got cranked up to 10.
Yeah, they have the early Astra Smoke down in the middle arch, and it allowed UCI's Reyna Platinum to get up to that catwalk position so fast. He ignored the Astra Smoke that came off of catwalk that separated him from his teammates, and his teammates, you know, they weren't even really there with him. It was just him by himself. Blue Haze did respond with that nice, you know, judge kill onto his teammate, but it wasn't enough, as Platinum showing the Platinum diff. Perhaps that is the best rank in Valorant. He's just the best player on the server right now.
I will say, right, it's worth understanding that Platinum is almost inarguably the best Reyna that we have here at CF1. And I would maybe put something on that. Like, Platinum has continuously come on top, and it's been a rough time for Blue Haze, right? Because obviously you're being compared to somebody who is very, very comfortable on this specific agent, but at the same time, the fact that Platinum is getting value inherently makes it more difficult for Blue Haze to get value. You don't have teammates to back up, you don't have people to flash in. And with all that, UCI have gotten themselves an economic advantage that should lead to a pretty straightforward round. Oh, Bucky nerfs Sag.
Not enough, I guess.
He does get one, though. Yeah. I doubt you get even one more here. It's a tough call. Oh, man, this guy can't see anything.
It just looks like Cal Golden Bears is a little disjointed in their defense right now. Usually in defense, you want to be playing off of your teammate, let a teammate take contact, you get to peek off of another angle, you can maybe jiggle in and out, maybe set up a bait, a crossfire perhaps, a retake with their ultimates, whatever the case may be. It doesn't seem like Cal Golden Bears are really coming up with the goods when it comes to these micro setups. They're leaving players out to dry, players that are untradeable in these scenarios. Of course, Platinum is walking up and getting these early picks, as is June, but that shouldn't be the case. Every frag should be refragged when you're on defense, and that's not the setup that they're currently playing.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to, round 1 and 2, where UCI came out with super high aggression. We're gonna do the same thing here. Can't get out of that one. JT Blaster attackers making those trades you were talking about. Now Blue Haze on a very difficult angle. Can't hit the shot. It's June instead taking the dome off. There's 2 players left, and I mean, defenders again not looking good. The aggression of UCI is unparalleled, and it only takes one ultimate to turn this round into one that I'm not sure Cal Golden Bears know how to solve.
But Teagle can't do much as he's stuck alone in this 1v4, getting pulled, getting shock dart. He's vulnerable now, facing down the firing squad, and he simply just can't do anything right there. And right there, that round, guns v guns, I do believe, and that really came down to the Astral Wall by Nibbler. They ran the same strat and they did in pistol round. He did the smokes in CT, but the wall down in mid. It let his team get up through mid, smoked off catwalk, so there's no possible place people could be except for right in front of them. That allowed Platinum and June to run straight through mid onto that B bomb site, get the bomb down, and win the round. Even if it went bad in terms of fragging, there was always a refrag or two, as you saw 3 people grouped up there by UCI, as this time they elect to go over towards the A bomb site. So it seems they're doing a heavy mix-up between mid to B and then A.
And economically, Cal Golden Bears don't have much to invest here, and that's kind of a bit of an issue, right? Because on the gun rounds, UCI is the one investing ultimates first, taking the proactive move, whereas Cal Golden Bears have done much less of the same. June now peeking, looking for 2, can't quite get it. Tough corner to hold here, gets run down by Singer. Oh, what the hell is this? Okay, JT Blaster, sure. Get the frag, get the operator, pull it out. 3v3, they should be good to go for this, so they are probably a bit hesitant to make the push with the operator. Get the shot though, Blue Haze makes numbers even.
One enemy remaining.
And Shaewon, who had that lockdown, goes down, so now it's all going to be up to Blue Haze here with an op and A main behind the enemy team. He's going to have to land 2 nice shots or maybe a collateral to get this job done, or just will he go for the save? No, he's got the confidence, goes for the shot while pinged, gets the first crossing, and there it is, the classic jump classic right there from this life. No respect.
I heard that's a true combo.
It is the classic jump, classic. That's the real deal, That's the combo you see everyone go for in pistol round in the
Just
top tier of
gameplay. Put that next to the Valorant trailer where the ladies like precise gunplay.
Yeah.
Just show the classic right click.
The mid-range headshot. 3 bullets go into the head from mid-range. And it's like, what is that?
Hey, it's good enough to get him the round. And I gotta say, UCI since round number 1 have been not just effectively using their ultimates, which they didn't have in round 1, but using the pace of the game to dictate how these rounds are going. Now backing away, Blue Haze has nowhere to go. Team does have at least a couple of rifles to work with. AWB on an important angle, does manage to take down Platinum, can't get another for it though. 4 versus 2. Notably though, I mean, you've got Lockdown and the Astral Barrier, but they don't really combo well together. You're only really going to be using one of them, and if you pop yours, I guarantee you UCI are more than happy to put their own Lockdown here and really just trade them out, but they don't even need to do that. They feel comfortable with the man advantage.
That was an insane nade by Nacho there, taking down the Killjoy Lockdown. Maybe a 2v1 as June hits the shot there, closing it down. And what's so different between these rounds and other rounds from different games, like other games that we watch, is the fact that every single round from UCI, they have a plan. They're going mid to A, mid to B as a team. Maybe a lurker, probably usually not, of course, as you've seen June here be an entry player or a trader usually in these rounds. And that's what I'm not seeing here from Cal Golden Bears. They need to remedy this, of course, with maybe aggression of their own, but they need to have some sort of plan. If an enemy player goes there, what do I do to rotate in? Because that is not clear right now. There aren't those clear rotations, these clear lines of what everyone's job is. I think it comes down to role clarity right now. Is you see JT Blaster Boy breaking that and catches Nacho unaware. Maybe it's just free. You just do whatever you want with the judge, and you can, pull off the free kill.
Hey, if it gets you a frag, you're pretty happy with it. Oh, but there it goes, the refrag by Nibbler. It's not even traded off. That's what you were talking about earlier as well. That was a one-man peak that, had it been there with two people a little bit earlier, had Chaewon been in position, it wouldn't have been nearly as much of a problem. Now that the lockdown going on to A, there's a bit of suspicion around this corner, though. I love that Cal Golden Bears aren't really buying this, but a peak without a refrag again, Jonah.
Yeah, these players aren't able, but they do have Platinum surrounded in mid. Teagle shouldn't peek this as his teammate does take him out from the side, and in this 3v3, this retake is totally possible. As you see AWD going for the Sova Hunter here, taking down one. And now the first man advantage here for Cal Golden Bears. It's a little late in the half, but it is still winnable for them. Nibbler playing around his Astra Smokes, has the gun out, spots the first, insta-flick headshot, runs through, but it's too slow. Deagle AWB come up good on that round. And that was a great opening pick from Cal Golden Bears, and it was a nicely played round, but I really, really want to see a little bit more coordination from them. Of course, they do get that second round on the board. But UCI I still have them far and above them at this current moment in time. Maybe Cal Golden Bear could come with something a little different, a little more spicy for us. Maybe they could do something off this Raze rocket that they have. Maybe the Reyna could ulti with a rifle down mid. Lots of different ideas that they could play around with, but their current setup, it got them 2 rounds only, and I don't think it will be enough going into the next half for them.
I mean, honestly, UCI looks like they're about to come out with this Astral Barrier immediately. Same play as we saw last time they used it, right? Really, really fast. Gonna make a push off the back of it. In fact, they just smoke off B. They're pretty confident in this push, but can't be too ready to just lock it like that. JT Blaster Boy's in. They've got support. They had the opportunity to use the ultimate, but not using it has been the death of UCI. Cal Golden Bears, they've seen this play 3 times prior to this half. They know how to deal with it. If you're not going to be ready to commit ultimates to that same exact play, I'm not sure it's going to work out for you. And in fact, it didn't.
Yeah, it was really all about AWB on the bomb site. B, he got one, scanned the rest of the team coming in, and this play of staying alive in this nade, getting away from there, that right there is what was able to stop the push from UCI. His teammate JT Blaster Boy coming in with the rocket, coming in hot, cleaning the rest of that up. We are heading into offense now. An admirable half there from Cal Golden Bears, and they have a lot of work in front of them. They've got to get these rounds and quick. They're down by 6 rounds, and if this round does go in the way of UCI, you could see a very quick game here.
And UCI is already trying to do the same thing they did in the first half, right? Come out and take the game by storm. Step on the gas pedal and make Cal Golden Bears play at their pace. Pushing things aggressively. Being ready around this corner. Nibbler holding way far up. JT Blaster Boy. I mean, that's a cleanup kill for the room, but any day of the week. Now 1 more on site. It's going to be relatively simple frag here for the attacking side. Cal Golden Bears, now they've got a site. 5 versus 2. Platinum did it last time, though. Let's be a little bit careful here. The Reyna. How much can you get? Missed shots. Door closed now. Things starting to be locked up for Cal Golden Bears, but a couple of those health bars are dangerously low here, Jonah.
Yeah, Slife does have the HP advantage, and Platinum has this share. If the satchel goes onto him, he gets tagged by 1. Clears the second angle, gets the suck off, gets the
no!
He only has 12, though. Can you get this player through the shock dart? Very, very well played there from Cal Golden Bears. What was so clean from Cal Golden Bears, though, was the abuse of Astra timing. You saw on your screen Nibbler there, still inside of that astral form as she was on Catwalk, but she couldn't get the timing right. She was in the astral form, but look, right away, as soon as she gets out of it, the timing. Bam, they're already there. And that's what's so difficult about playing this agent. You're not just playing a game of Valorant, you're also playing the mini game of controlling the whole map and the tempo of the round. And that can really get you punished if you're too focused on that astral form and not focused on the gunplay and the sound play.
It's so much more difficult as well. I mean, when you compare it to something... Oh, God, Platinum. How many can you get here? Just one, but it's a nice trade. Platinum nearly traded out from the other angle. Peeks it anyways. No shot at that. Chaewon cleans up. Sylph trades out 3v3 now. The numbers looking good for UCI. Just one player to go down in mid. AWE doesn't stand a chance. In the aggression from all fronts.
A classic!
From every single angle. I was 3v1. Let's give him a little bit of slack. It was a good classic shot, but they were sprayed down.
Yeah, they were getting shoved from every angle, and that's the kind of defense I wanted to see from Cal Golden Bears right there. They need to understand that in order to take defensive rounds versus these teams that are showing them the respect, they have to fight back. And UCI, they chose a round where they had nothing to their name. Their guns, their weaponry was like the classics, really. I mean, of course, you had Platinum with that Sheriff, but they won the round with classic. I mean, it goes back to that clip of Steel, right? Going Glocks, Glocks, Glocks. We're losing to Glocks. They're losing to classics right now. And it's all Nacho as UCI is just tearing them a thunder. As no trade frag comes back in.
No, because, I mean, this is the same Cal Golden Bears that, on their defensive side, really struggled to get much out of the eco rounds. This time, though, they found something. Platinum down, that's a star fragger for UCI at the very least. And they only took a little bit of damage for it. They still got a lot of util left, if memory serves me right. They've got enough smokes from the Astra, and they've got map behind them to work with. You don't quite know that. They may be a little bit worried that UCI have pushed up somewhere like mid, and so they're scared to really turn around here, but they still managed to find themselves an advantage because UCI continue to attempt to force. Sylph, though, did it last round. Can they do it again here?
Spike down A.
There's 2 more to go here from the attacking side. He's even up the numbers. June from high ground. Dropping a turret, making those numbers a lot more uneven. AWB has no way to get across this without peeking into the chicken. What a miserable position.
Yeah, it seems they're stuck here in the A main. Low HP for Cal Golden Bears. This was a round they weren't supposed to win, though, as they invested almost nothing but the round as AWB swings out of his known position. That's the first one, and it's all going to June with this Sheriff. Let's see if he can make magic, as it's not really his month yet, but perhaps he can shift the calendar a little bit.
His teammates have got to have called out the low HP bars. He knows he only has to hit one shot on each of these players, but no! Drops his spaghetti at the last second, and Cal Golden Bears now put themselves up to 5-10. Huge economic boost as well.
Man, can no one win a round they're supposed to win this half? I mean, Jesus.
For real.
The Stingers versus the Phantoms, and the Stingers wins, and the Classic versus the Vandal, and the Classic wins. It's just like, what's going on here, you know? Why are we seeing so many teams lose these rounds? I mean...
We get rifles now. Well, at least I thought we were for a second. No, UCI are going to bend the knee and actually go down to pistols, which is surprising. For a team that plays as confidently as they do, I kind of expect them to go for more forces, but up at 10-5, I don't think there's any need to risk your economy on a round.
Yeah, Platinum does have the gun, though. Platinum does have this rifle, though, on Catwalk, as he takes one down before getting traded. That was the sole rifle the sole rifle from the side of UCI. Because that gets taken down, the chances of UCI winning this round are actually getting slimmer and slimmer. Still wiping away Blue Haze right there. It's all up to Nacho here. Let's see what he can do. Goes for the gun on Catwalk from his teammate. Now has the Vandal. Perhaps he could get a kill. 180, get the other 2. But he still has time on his side as the attackers aren't really planning the spike. They haven't really moved in on the territory. He knows the door closed. Gets the first. Should know that the Killjoy is lurking somewhere. Spots him, but goes down to him.
And this score is getting dangerously close, I gotta say. Like, 6-10 is more than within range, and one of the big things that UCI did there, that I honestly don't like. I was mentioning, like, yeah, they're confident they got enough of a round lead where they're like, hey, we just don't want to give away the economy too heavily. We want to be able to fight back pretty soon here. But in doing that, you've also allowed Cal Golden Bears to bolster their own economy, which is a problem in and of itself. When you talk about comebacks, right, it comes from 2 places. It comes from 1, taking control of the economy, and then 2, keeping the strats varied and keeping the opposing side on the back foot in order to maintain that level of momentum. Well, you've just given Cal Golden Bears the first piece of the puzzle. They've got an economy to work with now. They've got ultimates. If they're willing to use them, this could be a pretty serious string of rounds.
The Killjoy ulti comes in from this bolstered Cal Golden Bears. You see Platinum here close with the Sheriff. Goes for the early fight. Not rewarded with anything, as the rest of his team does bail on the bomb site. But the spike from Cal Golden Bears is all the way towards that B side. Doesn't look like they're necessarily taking control of the site. And Nibbler responds with 1. through the smoke, actually, on to Chaewon, perhaps getting a little lucky right there. So the round does devolve into a steady 4v4 state, with Nacho pushing out in mid before getting swiped from top mid by Eagle. Now, these aggressions from UCI are starting to not pay off, as you see here with both duelists from their side going down. Doesn't seem like they're able to net anything, and because of that, they're down in the man advantage.
I make it 2. Cal Golden Bears now up 4-2. It was a critical round for them. They get more up on the board. I mean, a Hunter's Fury is nice, but take a look at the other side. I mean, there's a Showstopper, a Hunter's Fury. They could use the Astral Barrier if they really needed to. Like, there is no way Cal Golden Bears drop their spaghetti hard enough to lose this round. You try and get out with the Operator if you're June. Maybe swing it back next round, but I think the momentum is clearly starkly in favor of Cal Golden Bears right now. It doesn't look like it's changing anytime soon. Teagle finishes off the last one, and that, like, this game is scary for UCI now.
Yeah, what was once a routine mop-up of a team that they considered weaker than in the bracket, it seems to be getting a lot more competitive as both teams are showing their stuff here on offensive halves. Maybe Ascent is playing more as an offensive half, but I attribute this sort of gameplay to more rather uncoordinated pushes from UCI right here. Platinum and Nacho go down way too early without anyone trading them. They're constantly force buying into these rounds, as you see Platinum picking up a rifle while the rest of his team does save again. Just going for that push with his fellow duelist. Rocket comes out and Nacho flies across right there, taking out Blue Haze. Let's see if he gets away with this position. Gets taken down though.
I mean, so you double blast pack in, use your Showstopper, the Operator finds nothing. I mean, it's not a great look for UCI. Again, you're talking about aggressive pushes that aren't really super crazy. That one might not have found value, but this push down mid for Platinum. Honestly, this stock might go up. Oh, Teagle's checking it! Okay, Cal Golden Bears, I'm loving this, right? They've got momentum, they've got economy, they've got various trust, but not only that, they adapted to UCI, right? UCI's been doing this since the attacking half, just going for these aggressive peaks, these aggressive pushes. But, I mean, Cal Golden Bears, if you check your corners, the answer is really just playing clean Valorant, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, they're playing clean Valorant, they're checking those corners, making sure nobody can be there to maybe get a cheesy 1 or 2K, and that's really hurting UCI. Because of that, you know, gods do bleed, and Cal Golden Bears showing us just that with some of their own gameplay. These entries, these takes onto sites, and more importantly, these defaults have been tremendously beneficial for Cal Golden Bears. They have a person or two stationed at the spot where UCI typically aggresses from. Of course, Blue Haze did get taken down by that rocket, but man, Nacho was stuck there. He had nowhere to go, and of course, the kill trade for trade does favor the offense. So that's something that Cal Golden Bear will take every day of the week. Is June has a rifle to his name, 32 HP, gets the first on AWB. Maybe he can make these players die to the spike. That would help the chances of UCI a lot. As that is the case, he does get Teagle down.
But let's be real, Cal Golden Bears has enough economy to take that kind of hit, whereas UCI absolutely, positively do not. Nibbler is flat broke. June, the same spot. I mean, we got like 6-7K credits floating on the Cal Golden Bears side. They've each got like a personal trust fund in their pocket. Like, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. UCI, it's not going to take a little bit of economic damage. It's not going to take, a frag here, a frag there. It's going to take an entire mental shift, right? These pushes are not working. They're not. Look, it's Ascent. Probably just, the haven for Sova that isn't actually haven. And we've never even seen that. I can't remember last time I saw somebody on the Cal Golden Bear side even get hit with a Sonic Dart. Like, they're not utilizing their utility. They're not utilizing the opportunities they give themselves. Instead, they're trying to frag themselves, and I guess for June it works out, but now pushing in, JT Blaster Boy in the back line, finds something. UCI has decent odds at this one. Now Ultra's being popped everywhere. There's walls up, a lockdown as well for the defenders, investing heavily into this round. Spike goes down as well, just outside of range of that exact lockdown. Teagle holding it down though, 1v1. Sova versus Nibbler. Pops the Hunter's Fury, immediately pulls back out the gun. This is going to be tricky with the wall in play. Don't get caught with your pants down. AWB just a couple bullets away from finding this. And the dart catches him out at the last second. Oh,
just a little missed time right there. That round was neck and neck as it looked to be all in favor of Cal Golden Bears with the 2 entries going for them, but then UCI bringing it all the way back. And because the round goes in the favor of Cal Golden Bears, look at that money situation you highlighted last round. It's broken. And this is what I don't like to see from UCI. Because they have the Reyna, they're consistently force buying him with the gun and letting him go in first into these B main, A main, mid spots, but it's not working. They're sending him B main again. Look at him push there, but it's not going to really net them anything as the majority of players from Cal Golden Bears are towards his A site, with a few players holding back. Nibbler perhaps could pull off what he did previously, just sniping the player through the smoke. That is not the case. Is Cal Golden Bears are taking this very methodically, very slow. And that's what you need to be doing versus these eco rounds. They want to get as much information as possible, update themselves, make sure that they have space and control, and then group up and take a site that they think the least people are, as they decide that that's going to be towards the B site. The members of Cal Golden Bears leaning here, but they have 3 UCI does before Platinum actually rotates into mid here. Let's see if he gets back in time. His teammates can call him over as the B site take is imminent. Barrett's spotting them out. The flash coming in. The counter nade with the smoke.
Placing swamp grenade.
Platinum with the gun. Showing up big right there. Of course, he's the only one on his team with any weaponry to his name. Getting the kill is going to be crucial for UCI's chances to reverse this momentum as Cal Golden Bears calls an audible. They go back. They want to split A to mid. They have Teagle in mid here lurking as the rest of the team puts up catwalk through tree. And
Teagle's got this round in lock. Nibbler, though, could shut down the spike plant.
10 seconds
Oh, but
left.
just bad timing. Teagle from the back line as well takes down Platinum. Now nobody can challenge, but Teagle just leaves. I love that. Get one and go. Cal Golden Bears are not playing to frag. They're playing to get advantages, which is just so much more valuable. Now around the corner. Should be a pre-fire for Stealth. No! Oh, man. You got to remember, it's one thing to peek a corner. It's another to believe that someone's actually going to be there, and sometimes you're just not ready for it. Now the score is all evened up. I think UCI we're in a tough spot, right, with their ecos, because when you push every round, when it comes to the ecos and you need to find an advantage somewhere, the other team already knows all the spots that you've been pushing from. It's not like you're going to get away with it all of a sudden now that you have less weaponry going for you. And so their options are really slim on eco rounds. Now that they've got guns in their hands, though, I want to see them play the same way they did last round. I want to see them play a little bit more defensively, play smart. They don't necessarily have to outplay Cal Golden Bears in gunplay. There's not enough of a difference between these players individually to rely on that every single round. And that's, I think, what we're getting, right? Reyna pushed up a little bit mid. They're peeking into A lobby, but nothing too crazy from the UCI side, right as I say that. Solo pretty far up in Garage, but I don't think there's any real punish for it. Just backs away. Back with the Killjoy. Platinum plays flexible, fast and loose, but should be able to get out here. The orb is available. Oh no, I don't think he can reach the dismiss. He's got to go for 2 and does exactly that.
Last player standing.
Oh, this round is so much about Platinum right there. Goes down mid, cheeky one tap onto the player in the cubby. Can't dismiss out. Gets 4K, the second of this game. And, you know, who cares about not doing mid-round aggression or early game aggression if you can simply catch the enemy team with their pants down? He picks a new angle, one he hasn't gone to before, one that isn't overly aggressive, but still takes first contact, gets it done for his team, and it seems that UCI is able to pull these rounds out through his gameplay. So perhaps they had to stick to their guns, let him go off, and if he doesn't go off, maybe they lose, but they have their strap book and they're sticking to it on the defensive side.
I really like what you mentioned there, though, about Platinum playing an angle that was slightly less forward, but still first contact, right? That's a really good opportunity, but he's not going to be in position for this one. Has to shift around to market, lockdown in for the attacking side. Then JT Black are pushing aggressively for it. It's a Reyna in place, though. Platinum's ready for this, and now with the lockdown out, all bets are off.
Platinum and June showing up huge there. They should know one is stuck to those left. Gets down AWB. And the round looks to be all mopped up for UCI as things are back to normal. Regular routine programming. Unless Teagle has something to say about it. And why was UCI able to get those kills through that door right there? It was because the Astra smoke from Teagle didn't come through. He was the lurker in mid here. That's why he wasn't able to get the smokes down for the execute. He was lurking in mid. And that's a key issue between agent allocation, where they're putting the agents that have to be there for the hit itself. And Tico lurking his mid is usually good for Descent, of course, but you need him to be there with the smokes, with those stars on there, because Platinum and June, they show up huge right there as taking down the players crossing out of B main. Of course, Slife right there on B site, contained by the Killjoy ultimate, and that's who they were going for. So it really comes down to Teagle mismanaging his utility, where he's playing as his Astra. Perhaps agent comfortability isn't there for him yet, and we saw it in that round.
It's good to see Blue Haze get a little bit of fire back, but of course, Nibbler comes in. Good for one. Now, UCI, I mean, they've pulled back at least a little bit, but it's got him up to 12. I mean, this is match point. It's now or never for Cal Golden Bears. Oh, no, the timing, the timing! Oh, God, Platinum finds an angle for 2. We're dancing around smokes, walls, and everything, but Platinum doesn't give a damn. Peaks even for 4. It could be 5 to finish it off, but no, the teammate's taking it away, and the Cal Golden Bears go down. It looked so good for them, Jonah. It looked so neat and tidy and done up. They cleaned up the play. They started being ready for the aggression. The playbook on the attacking side looked a lot better. Everything that we wanted from them started happening. And UCI were bashing their heads into this wall, trying to play aggressively round after round after round. It wasn't even like a press on the brakes. It was like a feather. Just a feather the brakes when you go around the curve. Like, it was still aggressive, just not as much. And that was enough to get him across the finish line.
It's like they weren't taking the most common angles. They were taking angles that were after the most common angles. And what was key was they weren't showing themselves. They were hidden for a little bit and then tried to play off of timing more than raw confidence and pure aim right there, which is very key. Playing off of timing in these games. Of course, you saw Platinum. He got amazing timing through the smoke at the last round. It's his third 4K of the game. And that was what was so key. He just changed the timing up a little bit, and that put them over the edge. But what I wanted to see there from Cal Golden Bears is use the Sova drone, use the Astra smokes a little bit more. When you're the team with the less confident Reyna player or the less confident aim duelist player, you really, really want to have your support players step up. Use the early Sova drone. Use the Astra smokes where they belong. Perhaps throw a Suck, a Roomba perhaps from the Raze, maybe even a Killjoy turret to peek the corner. Those utilities can negate the plays that Platinum were making. And of course, we did see great defaulting and great utility usage from the Cal Golden Bears when they were on that win streak. They weren't able to keep up that consistent playstyle, as it seemed in the last few rounds. Once UCI established that round, they lost momentum and they lost their cool a little bit. They got a little flustered and they started calling full sends, just 5 men A main, 4 men B main, whatever was the case. They stopped playing their default. And when you stop playing your default, when you lose a round, it means you become very readable. So you have to go back to the default again, and that's what Cal Golden Bears didn't do. And that's what UCI capitalized off of. And congrats to them for the win in Map 1. Map 2, I'm very excited to see what comes next.
Yeah, I don't think it's over by any means, right? Platinum's got the star power, but Blue Haze, I mean, we saw they tease a little bit of the Sky. We know it's not necessarily their agent pool to play this Reyna, and yet still, even without a very notable fragger on this team, they still managed to put up some really convincing rounds there in the second half. Now, we leave UCI's pick of Ascent. We're going to head on over to Haven in just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be a good map. We'll be back in a couple minutes with that one.
Now which way do we go is the question to ask. There are so many choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we love what is throwing up our veins? Trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves that we must reach for.
And we're back, friends, after a surprisingly close map number 1, right? The second half was a wild ride. We're heading now over to Cal Golden Bears map pick of Haven. We've seen them play the sky here. We've seen a lot of really creative strategy out of them, but on the other side, UCI just seems pretty indomitable, led by Platinum.
Yeah, Platinum carrying them with that Reyna, dropping 25, I believe, 26 frags to that map. He's just showing all of his stuff everywhere. I mean, he's just Reyna diffing them. Plain and simple, just like in your comp games. And at the end of the game, type in a little character diff.
Yeah, look, the Reyna diff was real, but again, the Blue Haze, we want to give them benefit of the doubt because this is not a traditionally Reyna player. This is not a team that likes to play with Reyna that much. They got thrown into a set and they're like, god damn it, I guess we gotta lock this if we want to find some success. But matching that's really difficult. Like a lot of times you expect the Reyna, we were talking about it during the break, to have to find some value, help the team out. You throw out a Lear, get your Jetta frag, and then you either get a refrag or you help with the first one. Then you kind of start, you get the dismisses going. And that's how you start your Reyna engine. Platinum, on the other hand, just is come up with somehow ridiculous amounts of energy, frags for themselves, doesn't need to refrag anything, just starts the engine. Not everybody can do that, and I don't think Cal Golden Bears were quite ready with the dynamic strats that you'd expect from him. But now that we go to another map, it's very unlikely, I think, we see them lock it in. I mean, you and I were talking during the break about, like, what a hit to the confidence that probably is, mostly for the Reyna. And honestly, when you're running Reyna versus Reyna, if one Reyna is doing extremely well, the other one, more likely than not, is not having a great time.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what it comes down to inherently with these high fragging agents. The main difference I wanted to see, a highlight rather, from the last matchup was the fact that the players playing around the Reyna, how did that necessarily work out, right? And I think that a lot of credit goes to Platinum for popping off, but Slife playing around him with the support of June, he was always there on offense to trade him out. And we saw from Cal Golden Bears what happens when they aren't
Hold up, wait. I like to pause
glitch, right?
our regularly,
It's a glitch.
Our regularly scheduled programming, but we've got a Yoru on there. I haven't seen. Look, the last time I saw Yoru,
it's 5 duelist.
Oh no! Like,
Choose
okay.
your agent.
First off, last time I saw Yoru, it was like egoed onto the board, and I saw a team that had no right losing still lose. Right now, 5 duelists. Look, if Platinum was doing what Platinum was doing last time, they weren't supporting the rest of the team particularly appropriately as a Reyna. They were just kind of playing for themselves, and it worked, right? So the rest of the team says, screw it, if you're not going to support us, we're going to support ourselves. Play some duelists. I guess they're doubling down on what brought them success, but let's be real, this is more likely than not an ego pick, and I don't think Cal Golden Bears is I don't think Cal Golden Bears is a team you can just ego pick this against and get away with it, especially not on their map pick.
This is going to go badly for sure, right, Dor? This has to go down in the toilet for them. You saw what happened when Platinum stopped hitting shots there on the defensive half of Ascent. They went on a string of rounds where they just weren't able to get anything going. And if they are going to double down on the 5 duelist composition, everyone go out and frag, then they're going to have to do something a little crazy here. Then perhaps they have like a 5-man push across the map. Reyna going down mid, A's Phoenix and Jet run down A long or A short together, and then 2-man push C long. Whatever the case may be, Cal Golden Bear can break this, as this is A little solo queuing.
A little bit. Oh my god, poor Blue Haze. That looked like a rough time. Attackers are already down 2, and I mean, that's what we expect from UCI. Just non-stop aggression. Able to get 2 numbers, starting to even themselves out though, as UCI very quickly realize what they're playing against. Cal Golden Bears, rather. I mean, look, how many rounds can you give away to 5 duelists before you figure out what's going on, right? You're going to be pushed almost every single time, because the second UCI don't push, they're giving up a pretty clear advantage. So
everyone's flanking. Everyone's just running. Every single player from UCI, at no point did any of them hit the shift key or the S key that round. Every single one of them just full sprinted through C, B, and A. And it just worked out. That's such a demoralizing round for Cal Golden Bears to lose. They literally got W keyed, and this is looking more like...
Let's be real, though.
Disrespectful.
Let's give them a little bit of room, right? This is... Okay. You know you're playing in 5 duelists, you know probably what you're expecting. But it's one thing to expect 5 people to be running at you, it's another thing to expect 5 people to be running at you that fast. So, Cal Golden Bears, let's give them a few rounds to get up to speed, but if they can't, figure out how to counterplay this by, say, 4 or 5 rounds in, then, what the
That is a shot through the wall, landing
that guy back up. No, that's not allowed to be a kill.
remaining.
That's not... What the... I'm so mad that worked. I'm so mad that frag got there. What on earth?
The walls are paper thin,
Okay.
and we're living in a machete,
Paper mache
world made of paper. Yeah. Look at this. What?
Come on!
That wall is... All right, well, bring us back into the action. It's going to be a full buy round here from Cal Golden Bear. They need to start playing on these Cypher tripwires. That's what's going to get them their advantage here. They have one towards the C-Long where June has been pushing with that Yoru. One will go down into A probably, and maybe they can start using this Sova drone, this Cypher camera, some more utility to get them more knowledge. As Slife and Platinum say, screw it, we're going down mid here, as nobody from Cal Golden Bears has any inkling of an idea. He doesn't spot him in time because Platinum was so deep in the window. And here they come, the Cal Golden Bears running it down. Do they check the angle where Nacho is? No, they do not. First player crosses, goes down. Slife chimes in with one of his own. And UCI W keys in full effect. Player in logs. Takes down 115 HP. AWB goes down. And that round, it really just was everything you want to see from UCI's composition. Of course, we could say that 5 duelists is bad. Oh, 5 duelists in my comp games is terrible. My teammates are throwing. But the thing is, if UCI, if everyone agrees is on the same page, this team composition can net significant advantages. You saw everyone there able to trade each other. Everyone there able to use their own utility to gather space. The Jet from Niggler was able to updraft in. Platinum and Slife were able to flash for themselves. No, everyone in this composition is self-sufficient. And if you are feeling that confidence, then it is going to work out in your favor.
Yeah, despite the competition they're running, you're right, they're finding value. Question is, how long does it take Cal Golden Bears to figure this thing out? They've got one, Sylph backing up now. Able to frag out for 2. UCI running out of gas. Good push by the flanking Phoenix. Oh my, what control of the B site. Now it's just Chaewon. Back again, UCI. I mean, this patented aggression at this point it's not going to stop, right? If it stops, they start losing. And now at a double angle, Chaewon. It'd be a miracle, but it's not going to happen. Good kills by the Cypher, but not enough to do really much of anything up against this composition from UCI. And I mean, I know you were talking about, yeah, there's some value to be gained from this composition, but there's a few other things that go into it, right? The composition itself, it's not the greatest. There's some value to be had there. But you're also catching Cal Golden Bears offsides, right? When was the last time they've played against a 5 duelist composition? Like, they are figuring this out from square one. This is... I know in other games, it's called an IQ check composition, and I would say here it kind of is as well. In UCI, like I said before, they're playing to what their strengths are. Last time they were winning largely due to their individual ability to frag, and it looks like they're just saying, hey, you know what? If that's what we're going to do, we might as well just put everybody on duelists and pray for the best.
Yeah, the flank is coming in fast here from the side of UCI, as all 5 players have made it onto the A site. Chaewon taking down the horse, getting that neural theft down. And this round was all off of the Astra smokes. Because he put them down in key choke points, they were able to get onto that A-bomb site. And this round, Cal Golden Bears, they're getting it done now. They seem to have figured out if they're able to group up, use that utility early on, have their double duelist entry, then the pushes from UCI are rendered useless. That is how you should be playing around it. Of course, we have the Cypher Tripwire from Chaewon watching that flank, and the rest of the team committed in with the util. They need to be using the Sova drone, the Sova arrow, these Cypher Tripwires, and of course, Teagle with the smokes. That is what is going to net them so many advantages here on the offensive side. If they're able to use these smokes to take out key choke points where duelists could be, then they can flood the site with utility and then just fall in with their own duelists. As you see them doing just that here, as Teagle divides the C site here. Should be a relatively easy take here for the Cal Golden Bears, checking their corners, crossing their T's, dotting their I's. It's going to be a full 5-on-5 retake.
I love the plant positioning here too. June gets out, figures out where everybody is, still on site. Post-plant positions are okay at best for Cal Golden Bears. They're not really fully out long yet. They've got to lock it down, or else the defenders come in, they get a massive advantage. They've got so many flashes to work with. Platinum's good for one more, 3v3 now. They don't know about Blue Haze on the site quite yet. Around. Oh no, misses the first. Nibbler from behind in UCI. Get onto site quickly, but honestly, I'm not even going to put that one on UCI for this. I got to say, Cal Golden Bears, they had so much time to get that spike down. It took them forever. And then past that, because it took them forever to get the spike down, the post-plant positioning is borderline abysmal. One of the things you need to beat out this many duelists is to be in a good position. They've got so much attacking utility to push back into you. You need a way to avoid it that isn't just trying to face it 1 versus 1.
Yeah, they could have maybe sent a lurker up through garage late, wrapped them back through C long. And as you said, to the point of getting the spike down late, Teagle, man, of course he's doing that wall, he's doing the Astra form, but he was the one with the spike. And because he's the one with the spike, look how late it is to get into there. If they're going to do this 5-man aggro push, I would like to see the spike on a duelist. Of course, they are entering into the site, so they have to commit to that. As Blue Haze brings out the operator, getting that early pick on the C-long player, Yoru, who's always been going down there. See if these two operators from Nibbler and from Blue Haze can get the jobs done. As they trade kill for a kill, and Blue Haze goes for more. Maybe he's feeling himself a little bit more. You know, we do mention that the operator is a gun of its own kind. Can get these crucial pickoffs that his team needs to get momentum back in.
Oh, but Platinum from behind gets a good angle. Had no right winning that duel. Let's be real with ourselves. Gets another for it. How do they keep getting away with this? Whew. Careful. This miss gets him out. As an Empress doesn't want to use it. Peeks Blue Haze, who's hitting all the shots on an operator. And Cal Golden Bears are getting a lot better at dealing with this. Here's them from behind. Toggle. How good are you, bud? Turn this into 2 1v1s, trying to isolate the players. Can't quite find him each, but finds Teagle. Now around the corner. Knives for 2. Nibbler in, and UCI keep the streak going.
I'm like the meme of the guy who's just blinking really fast right now. Like, what the heck was that from Nibbler, man? He just smokes off the one guy, smokes up the other, catches the second guy through the smoke. What is that ridiculous gameplay? I mean, of course, props to Nibbler for being that good, but come on, man. Cal Golden Bears not trading out on that. Nibbler showing the jet diff this game, you know. Last game was Platinum versus Blue Haze. Now it's Nibbler versus Blue Haze, and Nibbler's getting it done.
And that's another instance of Cal Golden Bears kind of leaving the door open for UCI to enter, for Nibbler to try and find the way into. Because, again, the post-plane positioning there, it was like a decent idea. They say, hey, the jet's coming from back here. They wanted to double peek him and spawn, but what they forgot about is that one of your players has an operator, and if that shot, that's it. It's 1v1. Like, the operator's not going to find a good way to get onto the angle, and now Cal Golden Bears look to try and take control of it. They've got some decent control, holding on to Garage as well, but Spike is down very far away. I think they're going to just hold on to space here. Yeah, there's no need to actually push onto C necessarily with the Spike, as UCI have to come to you.
The Spike is late rotating over.
It's going to A.
Man, it's going all the way because the Cypher has all the positioning. AWB trying to go big for a 3K this round. I mean, man, last round, It was really just about the fact that the post plant positioning, as you point out, is so dang off right now. They need to get it fixed up right now in this round. Let's see where Teagle plays. He only has the Sheriff to his name with a teammate on the B side. They should know one is rotating through CT as
One enemy remaining.
J1 gets the first tag
Big.
and Teagle gets the front. Now let's see how they play this post plant. They have to crossfire here, hold the same angle, double peek off of each other. They have to play this correctly because they just haven't so far. It seems that Platinum's able to run through, flashes off the player behind him, should suspect there's another one close somewhere.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, that's not it. That's not it!
What?
They keep trying to take these operator engagements at such close range, right? They're saying, hey, I'm going to peek with my pistol with my rifle, and then you're going to double peek me. Double peek me with what? I've got to scope in. I've got to perfect my shot. It's from 5 feet away. You're saying to your operator player, hey, I want you to refrag me from 5 feet away. And it's like, it screwed him at 2 rounds now in a row. What an unfortunate series of events that gets them there, but... Like Cal Golden Bears
Honest
are getting
to
so
God.
close, but to see the same mistake happen twice like that is pretty painful.
Like, they need to understand that where you plant the spike is where you need to play from for the post plant, right? You planted an ammo right there. Why are you playing heaven? You should be playing CT, on short, in long, somewhere of that sort. They weren't able to pull it off. Even if they're getting these crucial picks, Nacho going down, it doesn't really matter in the long run because you need to start stacking these rounds with better post plants. And June!
Spike down.
How does he peek into
Attacker
3 people?
spawn.
He gets the kill. Of course, nicely done from him, but maybe a little bit of misplay from Cal Golden Bears, though, as Nibbler gets down mid for free. And that shouldn't be happening. J1 needs to start using this camera to get mid info as Nibbler dashes
No
in
way!
with the shorty and
enemy
gets
remaining.
J1 down. But AWB brings it back. It's a 1v1. Platinum's been the man of the match so far. Let's see if he can...
timing's so bad. Oh my god, it's so close, Jonah!
They're like ships of the night, and there's just not enough light here. As he goes into spawn, maybe checks a different angle. AWB does now have that spike. Let's see if he can...
I mean, neither of these players have
maybe-
any clue where one another are right now. We're actually just playing like blindfold tag.
30
These two
seconds
both
left.
walking, neither making any noise. Like they're checking every corner. Like they're mortified of one another. It's like, you ever seen people with like blindfolds fight with like pool noodles?
Oh
and
yeah,
pillows
like
and whatnot?
Marco
Like,
Polo, but no one's saying
yeah,
Marco,
it's
right?
it's the exact same thing, but
One's
nobody's
on A,
talking.
one's on- What is this?
10 seconds.
I can tell. I can
what-
promise you, the
Spike
comms
planted.
completely silent. The tension is palpable in the air. But since we can see both sides of the minimap, you're like, yeah, they're not gonna
Yeah.
see each other for a hot minute here.
All right,
All right,
Platinum giving
finally
away
they
his
do connect, and
position now.
AWB's gonna hear this. It's got a Hunter's Fury. Not gonna use it though. Platinum now around the corner. Oh well, both players know where one another are. Who hits the shot? Platinum's been good for these pretty much every single round and is good for one more. UCI now up to 8. How do they keep getting away with it, Jonah?
I mean, I want to say that it's a difference in aim in players, but I really want Cal Golden Bears to do a little better of a job because they last map they had 10 13 score line. That is a close game. It wasn't off of aim, it was off of their defaulting and utility, and they need to start going back to that. J1 has not put his camera in early in the round to stop the mid aggression. When you're playing Cypher and Sova, the reason these two agents came into meta is because they have utility to stop pushes. You want to see Chaewon put a tripwire towards C, and then towards A, and then use his camera towards mid. As a Cypher player on Haven, you can control the entirety of the map by yourself. And it looks like it's just not panning out to be. Chaewon is still not using his camera in mid, so they have no mid control, does Cal Golden Bears. As the C-Take comes in, everyone from UCI is already converging. The entirety... Look where everyone is from UCI. No one's even towards the B. And the flank comes in because Chaewon's not watching it. He's in charge of so many angles by himself.
Nobody
without
turned
using his
around!
utility. It's just too... It's the communication is not there. The tripwire goes down because Chaewon dies. No one turns around. They're not using their server direct.
All right.
They're not using
All
their
right, all right.
tripwire
Jonah.
This
I,
needs
we
to
gotta.
change.
Okay. It absolutely does. I think right now what we're seeing is like, this feels like just raw mental boom. We're saying this needs to change, that needs to change. I feel like they got to get their head straight first. They're you know, you're getting beat by 5 duelists. The first thing that has to come up. Yeah, so like everything's going wrong strategically. We could break down every one of these rounds and make you know, there's a lot of mistakes being made by Cal Golden Bears, and they are a high enough level team that they should know how to beat this. But the fact that it's been this many rounds, exactly. This is a tilter. This is one that cracks your mental. Even the best of teams, if you lose this many rounds to 5 duelists, you're just not going to be feeling too hot about yourself. And Cal Golden Bears, I hate to say, you know, this is some pick yourself up by the bootstraps kind of stuff, but that's really what they have to do.
I mean, UCI is playing the long con, right? They're up 1-0, so if Cal Golden Bears does make it into playoffs, they're going to be mental boom off this game. If they ever play these guys again, I mean, the sheer pressure on them is just too much. We do see JT Blaster Boy creeping through, gets a nice timing, gets the spike, perhaps can get that down. Here's the player below him. Drops and gets taken down by the AWP of Slife.
Yeah, if it wasn't gonna be
Last round before the switch.
What's up?
It's really just so demoralizing, Door, man.
It is. It's tough to watch,
so
man. It's crazy because again, like I said, like we know Cal Golden Bears are a good enough team. Like they should know how to deal with this, and I don't want to rag on them too hard because this really does feel like the mental game being lost pretty hard, above pretty much everything. Right, the actual game is certainly being lost in a pretty bad fashion, but it starts from the comms and it works its way down there. And let's see if they can pick something up here. I mean, we get the side swap. Maybe it works itself out, but going even again, UCI taking peeks. Cal Golden Bears, when we got towards the latter half of the game, it was very different in regards to how Cal Golden Bears dealt with it, right? Instead of getting boomed, they cleaned up their plays, started checking their corners, they were double peeking, they were trading their frags as opposed to what they were doing in the first half, where they struggled with all those things. Now, it's been Cal Golden Bears, and instead of cleaning the play up, it's only gotten sloppier.
Yeah, they've stopped doing what they did last map on the offensive half, where they were using that utility early, taking it slow, defaulting, playing their positions, letting them push out into them. Teagle here doesn't turn around, and that's the Astra I'm talking about. He goes into Astra form. He can't really get those smokes down while being aware. And Nacho with this flanking rocket pushes it towards health. Getting Odin down is AWB, and that ends the half. And this is where it really turned around from Cal Golden Bear last time, right? When they started on the, not on the defensive side, but when they started the second half, they're able to mentally reset with this elongated timer. Maybe they could take a tactical pause. Perhaps they could mental reset themselves. As you said in the beginning of the game, if they're able to figure out the 5 duelist composition, they should have an easy road ahead. Yeah. They needed to take that's kind of one of the.
That's one of the tough parts. I'm surprised we're not seeing attack pause here. That it would honestly be the right call, but sometimes you're too boomed to even realize that. Maybe the half swap is just enough to get them there. We get a question from chat though. Do we think this is winnable from Cal Golden Bears? They saved up the points to ask us this question, and like I'll give them the first answer, right? Had you asked me this at round 6 or 5 when it was like 5 or 6-0, I would have said yes, right? Because again, once you figure out the 5 duelist composition, but we're in too deep. They got 11 rounds out of the comp. They can luck their way into a couple more rounds, and it would be over. I'm not sure it's doable.
I mean, maybe the lack of smokes is really going to be a huge problem, right? You don't have anyone except for Jet with that ability to lock down these areas, and this should be playing to the favor of Cal Golden Bears. They have the Astra to their side, but not if the run and gun comes here from June. Dismissing back away with that gate crashers. Nibbler gets 2, dashes up drafts, relocating and taking down Chaywan is the man himself. The Jet diff is just so true right now. I mean, you're seeing it from Platinum last game, and now you're seeing it from Nibbler. And that just goes to show the depth of these players, right? The Astra from Nibbler last game looked impressive from a macro standpoint, but the micro gameplay was not there from him. And now that he's on this Jet, he's able to show his stuff, show the confidence he has in his aim, his ability to take these timings and peaks correctly. I mean, this right here is some outstanding gameplay from UCI. They have full trust in their team. Of course, if they do win this 13-1, this will be a huge message to the rest of the West, as this Cal Golden Bears team is a very strong team in the West right now. As Slife opens up with this TK, looks like all they have to do is just finish off their meal as Platinum sees one, doesn't hit mouse one.
Oh, he's gonna go for the knife. He's,
Trying to
like they want a knife so bad here. They're already like they've cracked the mental. They want to shatter it. They want to break it into little bits. They want to ruin this round for Cal Golden Bears. All of them playing at long range. They've got enough flashes and you know, cloud burst to get them through the rest of this round right now. Nacho pushing out now off the back of the Roomba. Takes out the Leer. Push around the corner. JT Blaster's good for one. UCI all grouped up around this corner. Pops the play at Storm. Now it's Nibbler up, getting aggressive. Even more. The double updraft. The flash forward. And Blue Haze is down. Just one more. Blue Haze does it. One more round on the board for Cal Golden Bears.
You know what that round reminded me of? I called the round like this back in CS, and I call it Gladiator, where we go one by one, right? And
It's like it's a strat roulette kind of look.
Yeah. Like June went first 1v3, right? He messes up, so now it's you know, Platinum's or Nibbler's turn. Nibbler loses the 1v3, so now it's Platinum's turn, and he goes, and then he loses it, so now we're in the new round. I mean, what a brilliant strategy, well executed versus. I mean, that's actually crushing to do that to another team that's second seed right now. And these two teams weren't very far apart in the first split. It just shows the growth between these teams, right? UCI stepping up big time with their gameplay, their strategies. Well-coached team. Of course, they have that varsity esports program, and they're showing you what they can do with that. They're showing their stuff, and the scoreline last game, perhaps a little closer, but this one, Nibbler pushed all the way through into B already. He does get traded out though, and we could see some shenanigans from AWB here as June is low to his left. Maybe he could tap. Nope, chooses not to. Playing passive, waiting for his team to regroup. He gets taken down anyway. And Shay1. He's got to do this, man.
Shay1. Oh no, not like this.
Yeah,
not like this. That's it, dude. That's the desk smash to like Golden Bears, man. I feel bad for him. Like we've all been there mentally. Like not all we can't. It's impossible to last against that kind of a beatdown. And again, it's a beatdown that I don't think happens on most days of the week for Cal Golden Bears. But with the way the first game got out of hand, the second one started to go the same way. The 5 duelist gets into your head, and I mean, when I say it is downhill from there, it is down a cliff from there. Once the mental broke, that was it. Because that just opens up the door, right? You're looking at a UCI who is individually extremely powerful, and they showed us that over on Ascent, and then they doubled down on it. But then I think if you're looking to take advantage of individual play, having a team with a cracked mental on the other side only makes it easier, because then they're not trading each other out. It's just 1v1s, and it's 1v1s against people who aren't feeling themselves, so they're not checking corners, they're not using a proper crosshair placement. It's like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point. You know, hats off to UCI for setting it up. I guess they played the 5 duelist composition pretty well, all things considered. I'm not sure if it's something we'll see come out of them again, or whether it was really just an ego pick, but I mean, they got there at the end of the day, and that is now, I believe, Cal actually one loss away from potentially getting knocked down to 6th or 5th place.
Yeah, they are a strong team here in the West region. They were 2-1 before this matchup. And that maybe just hints over to how strong the West region is. These two teams were respectively, I believe, 3rd and 4th seed in our first split. And to see such a big gap between these teams is quite rare, usually from split 1 to split 2. And I attribute this mostly to the adaptation in the meta. Of course, you have in the first map of Ascent, you had, you know, the Astra, and then you had the all of the different variables with the Killjoy coming in instead of the Cypher, but these players seem to revert back to what was comfortable for them, right? And most collegiate teams have a lot of duelist players. I mean, the majority of my teammates from Rutgers were originally duelist players that we shaped into playing Omen, shaped into playing Sova, right? You really want to pick the best players with the best aim, best mechanics, best communication, and then fit them into the roles if possible when constructing a win now team. And maybe that's what UCI did, because everyone looked comfortable on these duelists. The flashes were on point. Nacho, of course, who's regularly a duelist for UCI, going 9-9 in this map, Perhaps maybe his teammates giving him a little nudge on the shoulder for being like, you didn't outfrag me, you're not the duelist player of our team. Really, what it comes down to is the message that UCI is sending. It's that they are cracked on the new meta. They are cracked at this 5 duelist thing. They broke the mental of the enemy team, and more importantly, they have more stuff up their sleeves. Is the key?
Yeah, if you're worried, you're saying, okay. So they know how to play, standard, Jet, Reyna, this, that, and the other normal stuff. They know how to play the new Viper and Astra compositions. And now you have to worry about 5 duelists, which, again, still not sure if it's an ego pick or if it's an actual strategy for them. Maybe just on some crazy Vision Striker stuff. Either way, we get to find out, Jonah. That's the great part about all this. We're coming back, ladies and gentlemen, in just a couple minutes with a wonderful interview from the UCI side where we get to pick their brain about whatever the hell that was. We'll see you then.
Last night in my dreams, walking the streets, some old ghost town. I tried to believe in God and James Dean, but Hollywood sold out. Saw all of the saints, locked up the gates, I could not enter. I walked into the flames, called out your name, but there was no answer. And now I know my heart is a ghost town. Now I know my heart is a ghost town. And now I know my heart is a ghost town.
Welcome back, friends. Jonah and I have somehow recovered from that game and whatever the hell happened, and now we finally get to pick the brain and I guess stomach of Platinum, who it was hungry during the last game apparently. Look, we're gonna start this off. There's only one map that we need to talk about to start this thing off, and it was that last one that we saw. You said you guys were having fun. There's talks of food being ordered. At least tell me what it was and whether or not you brought enough for, like, you got at least for the whole team, you know? Like, are we sharing? Is it like a self-pizza kind of deal? Like, what's going on?
It was just 2 Big Macs for me and my brother. That's about it.
It looks like you got fries with those because, you're it's AFK right there.
Yeah.
Ordering the food and you just get taken down, man. I mean, a little embarrassing, but I'll give it to you. So for your Reina gameplay in that last map, how did it feel playing along 4 other duelists? I mean, that's not really a strat you really see from many teams, but I mean, you guys pulled it off for the 13-2 scoreline, so that's pretty impressive. But how'd that feel?
Nibbler just randomly called that we should just run 5 duelists. We wanted to have fun, but at first I wasn't really too excited about it, but then I said, screw it. I think we're really good. We're all talented individually. And the comp isn't that bad because in ranked, you can see that this comp wins like a lot of times in the high lobbies. So I wasn't too worried. I knew we were going to just steamroll.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the apprehension coming off of map 1, right? Because I think that was a lot closer than you guys were ready for. You came in just playing confident, playing your game, looking to have some fun, and then all of a sudden, hey, Cal, they can adapt. They are a relatively solid team, but that second game in, it looked like the mental cracked. It looked like things fell apart. But for you guys, I feel like the exact opposite had to have happened. What was the rise like from, oh damn, maybe we should take this first map seriously, all the way to 13-2 and we're cruising?
For the first map, we were cruising for the first half, but then I kind of got carried away with pressing W, and honestly, for the most part, it was just my fault that we lost so many rounds in a row and caused it to be a close game. So I just dialed in, and then I wanted to play a bit more smarter so we could close it out easy. But going into the second map, we knew that we can easily win, but we just had to make sure we don't throw away the rounds like I did. I think a couple times on Ascent, I just literally just pressed W for no reason, and then I just died. And it was just kind of hard for our team to come back from that.
Yeah, playing at a man disadvantage is definitely really difficult for your team. I mean, of course, you did come out with a lot of those first bloods, though, on that offensive half. And later on, you picked it up when the scoreline was 10-10, getting those opening kills. And, of course, the 4K that secured the final round that your team needed. My question then is, you sent a message here as UCI, as a team, to the West here, it feels like, that your team is above the rest. You're undefeated, 8-0 map score now. Is there any team in the West then that you're looking to be a threat going to playoffs?
SJSU looks really good. I think I saw that they're changing up their roles a bit, and they're probably going to be looking really, really good. I saw Teddy on Duelist. He's crazy. He's crazy good. But other than that, we really don't scrim. I think everyone's confident in our play. Nibbler calls whatever strats he does, and it works out. And I have faith in his calls. And I think we're all just confident in whatever we can do.
Hey, man, sounds like UCI is just built a little bit differently. But regardless of that being built differently, I get to build a nice little soapbox for you to stand on. So congratulations. I think we've seen y'all here before a couple times, but you know the general gist. Shout out whoever you want, your team, your Twitter, your Instagram, get some followers out of it, your mom, your dad, maybe, make them proud, your dog, professors, whatever it might be, just please not all of them at once.
Yeah. Shout out my team. I'll just be streaming whenever I want on Twitch. You can follow me there too. Also, you can follow my Twitter. Platinum OG and Platinum TV on Twitch, and that's about it.
Hey, well, congratulations on the big win. You come out ahead, and what looked like even more than ahead with that final game. I'm sure it's a nice little bit of comfort. You guys had already locked up your playoff spot, but now you're feeling even better about it. Ladies and gentlemen, though, Thank you, Platinum. Thank you guys for watching. That's all we've got for tonight. Keep in mind, though, next week, same time, same place, the schedule in the East region starting at 8 p.m. EST. It'll be Monday, the final week of play before we get into regional playoffs. Things are getting locked up, and we are tying up score lines. Teams will fall, and teams will rise. It all starts here, and you guys aren't want to miss it. It'll be all of us back in for the action, though. Until then, take it easy, drink some water, get vaccinated, do what you got to do to get to next week, and we'll see you then.